What is up, YouTube? How is everybody doing today? So today we're gonna the video today is gonna be about let's be honest about collecting and why I stopped collecting. If you've been a follower of this channel for a while, you know that I kind of talk about this frequently, but I always feel like it's good to keep bringing it up. So a little bit of the background just to kind of get through it. I originally had a massive collection, 300 to 500 games. I don't know the exact amount. Now, to a lot of people, that's not really that much, but to a lot of people, it is a lot too. But I ran into the problem. First, I noticed I was not playing most of them. And B, I was starting to, this is a big one I got written down to talk about, is I lost all passion for games that I would never play. When I first started collecting, I loved to just have games in general. I have as many games as possible, stock up, and then I felt a good sense of pride, a good sense of accomplishment looking around my game room and seeing all those games there. It made me feel good, I guess, is what you could say. Well, then it turned out later on that was just false, and in reality, I just enjoyed the thrill of the hunt, and basically, in layman's terms, had an addiction to just collecting in general, and constantly having it, doing it. I justified, some of the other stuff to buying these games, stupid stuff like, oh, I'll play this someday, or this is a great game, and investment, etc. A lot of the stupid stuff that everybody else, not everybody, but a lot of people throw in there just because they want a reason to buy games. Now, that's not to say that anybody that collects video games that they're stupid. I'm just saying in general, when people aren't honest with themselves. So I lost all passion for that. I watched a couple videos on people that were selling their collection, and then that itself kind of made me realize that I don't need this stuff anymore, guys. And so I sold off a bunch of the basics, the games that are just sitting there. I mean, obviously not like, Super Mario Brothers and Smash Brothers and, games like that I really love to play. It was more along the lines of the games that were like the 50-cent game on the Xbox that I kept telling myself someday I was going to play, but I never really actually had plans to play it. And just getting rid of stuff like that it helped me a lot more. And a lot of people, when we talk about this, the first thing that comes to mind is you're going to regret that. You're going to have so much regret for selling all those games. Someday you're going to want to play them. And to this day, it's, over a year since I've done this, and till this day so far, I've not had one regret on getting rid of any of these games. I've actually picked up, I sold a bunch of the stuff. I picked up a Retron 5, so I can play the games that I still have. I actually have Jackal sitting right here right now that I play every once in a while on my Retron 5 on my PC. I could still play the games that I want to play. The problem was I had a bunch of games that I wasn't going to play. Up to the talking point number 2 was I had other uses for the money, guys. Sorry. I know that's very ironic that an Iowa retro gamer dad is drinking out of a Nebraska Huskers mug, but it is what it is. But no, I had other uses for the money. I was buying these games and stuff like this, and I have older kids now, and I have a younger kid, and it just felt right to do more stuff like go do fun stuff with them. Make sure that they have other stuff that, that obviously I didn't have as a kid, because that was one of the things that I've noticed that a big thing was I was buying stuff and I think trying to heal childhood trauma and stuff like that. Like I could never have this stuff as a kid. So now, I can buy all these games. I have adult money. We were poor growing up. I was trying to justify buying it all that way. And so now I had other uses for the money. Repairs on the house, stuff like fun stuff to do in the house, not necessarily repairs itself, but just add-ons to the house. Yeah, like I said, taking my kids to football games, doing stuff like that, just doing fun stuff with them Maybe even buying, games themselves for my son, so that way he can enjoy them just as much as I do. Going on to talking point number 3 was games should be played and not an investment. And I struggled with that in the beginning, and I still struggle with this. Every once in a while, I will still take games in to get money to use that money for other stuff. A lot of you that watch my shorts noticed that my son and I just went to a Minnesota Vikings game. We originally had gotten the tickets for free from my coworker, but it costs, money to go down there. We spent the night there, so we had to buy a hotel, we had to use a parking garage, we had to use gas, we had to eat. And instead of, being a little bit of a miser about the money and stuff like that, I was able to, sell those games. I mean, I guess in the end, you could almost call it an investment, because I held on to those games for so long, and now that I'm selling them, I have this other money that I could use for it, but I don't know exactly how much I profited off these games in general. I guess in the end, it was almost like having a savings account, and these games are just sitting around for me to sell now. But I believe that now, especially, I'm strongly, somebody had messaged me on Instagram, I won't say his name, but he had said that somebody was giving him crap basically about spending $50 on a game, and they said it wasn't worth it, you're wasting your time, and it's not a good investment because that game will never, increase in value. But he asked me, well, I just plan on playing it, and I said, well, then that's worth it to me. If you're going to buy a game and you're going to play it, and you're going to enjoy it, you honestly can't put a price on happiness, as much as people will say that, that you can. It came down to, if you're going to enjoy that game, then it's worth it in any general thing. Now, could that be said about me dropping $300 on Chrono Trigger or something because I love that game? I guess, but I don't really want to. This was a modern game that the person had DM'd me about, but those games like that, if I really want to play that game, I can emulate. I'm sorry to say, but I also have several different devices with it on it, and I've had it in the past. It's just not worth having that cartridge. I even have a copy of Final Fantasy II boxed mint, valued, at 200 plus, but I'm still on edge about whether or not I want to sell that, because it's just sitting there and I can't play it because I don't want to ruin the value of it. So it's just not, the games are meant to be played, guys. Then lastly, I got down here, I still love having games, but no longer feel the need to have shelves and shelves full of them. And I don't think I'd ever completely sell my complete collection. Obviously, I'd always hold on to games because I'm a gamer in heart. And then two, I still like having a certain collection of stuff. Like right behind me, the Fallout stuff's fun to have. Those Funkos. I found some like Mario Brothers books one time at a thrift store that I like cheap, 50 cents. Like stuff like that I think is fine. I find really cool and I'd want to keep. My 3D boxes that I made back there with a Game Boy and a Zapper gun and stuff like that. People will be like, that's crap's not worth displaying. Why are you doing it? It's because it's fun for me and it's fun to have. I would much rather have like, like those PS5 or those PS2 boxes and stuff, like, excuse me, the box consoles and stuff, the boxes for the consoles, than having a shelf full of games now, because the stuff's a lot cooler to me that way. And that's really how I enjoy my collection now. So let's be honest about collecting and why I stopped. To be honest, I still play games and I still love games and I still collect certain games, but I don't feel the need now to collect stuff that I don't want. You know what I mean? I'm finding I'm maturing in my collecting to the point where I'm buying games that I actually enjoy and I feel like it's worth having instead of just having games to have games. That's the way it is, man. Let me know in the comments below what you think. I know a lot of you guys comment. A lot of people that stuck around on this channel after a lot of the stuff in the past still watch and comment on everything. Thank you guys so much for the support. And a lot of these videos I think do help people in general feel like they're not alone. I am not somebody that's just going to be out here telling you that it's wrong to collect, because it's not wrong to collect. It's wrong to do something that you're not passionate about, is what I believe. And that's what just happened with me, was I lost the passion for collecting. And I don't really think that you should force yourself to do something you don't enjoy. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, stay retro, my friends. God bless, and we'll see you in the next video. Have an amazing day.